Yogini here. We're going to do some yoga, and I'm also live on Facebook. So it's going to be a Yin Yoga class. This will be an all levels yoga. It's going to be nice and gentle. And I'm just going to be using my intuition to go through the poses today. So I pulled a card for inspiration before starting this class, just to figure out what would be the best theme for the class with the current energy that we're going through this week. Yesterday, we had a new moon in Virgo. When we have new moons, it's prime time up until that new moon. Hopefully my little dog is, you're okay, Gracie? To plant seeds of what we want to create in our life. And the way we plant seeds is simply through our thought patterns, through any desires. So if you've been having any experiences in your life of, I don't want to go through that anymore, then you've been shooting out rockets of desires of really what you do want to happen. Or maybe you've been having some positive experiences getting you excited about wanting to create XYZ in your life. And so that excitement has also been planting seeds. So the message that I got is to use this class as a fertilization process. So some seeds have been planted, they're going to be different for each and every one of us. So we're going to use Yin Yoga to not only tune into our breath, tune into our body, but tune into that underlying energy. When you hang out in a pose for a long time, which Yin Yoga, you hang out in poses anywhere from, let's say, 3 to 6 minutes per pose. But you can adjust that for what's right for you. If you need to get out of a pose, you get out as soon as you need to get out of that pose. If you have a desire to go into a different pose because that is what would be best for your body within the moment, then please listen to it. But while you're in these poses for any length of time, emotions can come up, discomfort can come up, different things that can come up to create some deeper awareness about what you might be going through and what might be best for you. I don't want you going through here, okay? No going through here. He keeps trying to go through where all of the cords are, which could cause us problems, but hopefully we will be a-okay. So I'm going to adjust the cameras there. I think we're going to be okay. We're going to get going. For this class, you can use a mat. Usually we use a mat for yoga, so you can use a mat. You might even want a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you don't have to use one. You can use pillows, blankets, or just do without, okay? So, but if you're drawn to it, you can have, grab some pillows and blankets and things like that. Just have them near you. Something else you might want, but again, I'm using my intuition, so you might not need it, is if you have a strap. If you have a yoga strap or a belt or a scarf, a rope that would be nice and gentle, let's say on the bottoms of your feet, things like that, you can have that handy. Okay, so we're going to start on the mat, and we're going to start, one last sip of water. We're going to start in child's pose. Did I even bring a hair elastic? Hoping I brought a hair elastic. We're going to start in child's pose. And you can either have your knees together to touch or your knees at opposite edges of the mat. Okay, I don't look like I brought an elastic, but that's okay. We're just gonna go with it. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my knees opposite edges of the mat, my feet together to touch. When you're in the child's pose, I want you to bring attention to your hips and really feel those hips opening. I also want you to connect down with Mother Earth. So feel, I also call Mother Earth Mother Gaia. If you don't have to call them anything. And if you want, you can picture roots coming up from the bottoms of your feet, even coming from anywhere in your legs or from your tailbone, your perineum, down into the ground and Mother Earth. Okay, use your breath to really relax into it. We're going to hang out here for a little bit. I'm not in the practice of my online. I was in vacation mode, so I don't have my mic. So anytime I talk, I'm going to be coming back up. So here we go. Put your forehead down to the mat. If this is uncomfortable for you in any way, you might want to use an extra mat, maybe blankets, extra padding for the knees. Okay, so listen to your body so you can hang out here for a while. Provide yourself the comfort that you need. If you want, your knees can be right together to touch as well. If this is too much of a strain on your shoulders, you can bring your arms back and allow your shoulders just to melt into the ground. Okay, so find a version that feels best for you. If none of those feel good, feel free to go on to your back. So if you're still in child's pose, keep hanging on child's pose. You can also go onto your back and bring your knees into your chest, and you can even have your knees out. So find the version that works best for you. You're in, you might even want to picture those planted, or that one seed maybe that you planted. And maybe you can picture, you remember when you were in kindergarten and you planted a bean in a little Dixie cup. Most of us have done that. You can picture little sprouts starting to come out of the bean. Okay? Feel the energy from that. You can come up to your hands and knees, tabletop. And okay, go lie down, baby. Go lie down. Okay, now just before we go into our next pose, we're going to have an in-between pose of cat-cow. Sit, Chewy. This would be the one nice thing about going into a yoga studio. Come on, sit. Is that I won't have to deal with my dog wanting to play. Okay. So when I do cat-cow, I normally start with cow, but I want to start with cat this time because we were just in child's pose. So let's let's arch our back, push the back of your heart up towards the ceiling. And we're going into cat. Hang out here for a little bit. Nice breathing in and out through the nose. Make sure your shoulders are stacked above your wrists. Hi, Chewy. He's just so cute. Yeah, are you playing hide and seek? Covering your eyes. Okay, let's transition to cow. So you're gonna drop your belly, open up your heart, slightly raise your chin, and then continue to breathe in and out through the nose. Roots coming out from your hands down into Mother Earth, as well as coming from your feet. Feel that connection, that groundedness. Take a deep breath into your cow. Breathe out to cat. Breathe into cow. Breathe out to cat. One more time each way. Breathe into cow. Breathe into cat. Breathe into flat back. Okay, we're going to tuck the toes, reach your arms forward, and we're going to move into a downward dog. Pushing your heart towards your thighs. Pushing your heels down towards the mat. If you like, you can start pedaling out your feet. If this is too much on your wrists, you don't have to be in downward dog right now. So you can put your knees down, okay? And you can simply do a version of child's pose. You can keep your toes flexed, pushing your heart down, towards the mat. If you can do your downward dog for short periods of time, and if that feels nice for you, then by all means. And we're going to help stretch out those calves and those hamstrings by pedaling out. We're not going to stay in our downward dog for too long, just as a heads up. My hair is tickling my nose. And once again, push both heels down towards the mat, pushing your heart towards your thighs. We're going to breathe in as we raise our right leg up to three-legged dog, and then bring that leg all the way forward to a low lunge. Sometimes that can be tricky, bringing that leg up front, so you might need to shift around to bring that leg up front. So you can either stay like this in your low lunge, or you can drop that back knee. You might want a blanket, a pillow, an extra mat underneath that knee. You see how my toes are tucked in? You can flatten that foot out. Now you can either stay with your hands on the ground for that extra support, or you can come up to this, to your thigh. We're just going into this pose for a little bit. Oh, there's someone on YouTube as well. Whoever's there, hello. We're just going to stretch out that hip flexor a little bit before we go into lizard pose. It's also called dragon. So we're just doing a little bit of warm up, before we go a bit deeper. Okay, I'm going to bring my hands to the inside of that leg, bringing my right leg to the outer edge of the mat. So you can either stay on your fingertips or on your hands, or you can come down lower. I'll do that in a moment. You can also choose to take your right hand and push open that right thigh. So then that foot is on the blade edge. You do not need to do that. It's just an option. Another option is to come down lower. If you have blankets, pillows, you can come down lower onto the bolster. So you're getting deeper into that hip. Nice little hip opener. You can even lose the bolster and bring your arms right down onto the mat if you feel like your body is ready for that. So I'm going to go a bit deeper now. And depends on where your body is at. You might go right down to the away or halfway through, or you might not go down at all. Okay, so just listen to your body. Now, being down this low, your right foot can be on the blade edge or just up a little bit or even flat on the mat. And breathe. Send your breath to any tightness, such as tightness in your hip flexor, your thighs. Notice any thoughts that come up, any discomfort. If you have any pain ever, please back away, back off right away. Feel the mat beneath you. You can once again connect in with the energy of Mother Earth. Okay, from here, you can come back up onto your hands if you were lower. And we're going to take that right foot and bring it across the mat, or you're going to be bringing that foot towards your groin area. So it depends on your body. So we're going into pigeon. It's also called swan. If your leg is going to be directly across the mat, you're going to have a flex in that foot, in that right foot, to protect the knee. I need to bring my foot down towards my groin area. It's what works best for my body. So you need to listen to your body. So I'm bringing mine closer down so my foot is not flexed. It's going just back. You're aiming to have that right hip down onto the mat, but not all bodies are going to do that. Mine does not go right down onto the mat normally because otherwise I would have to go onto the side as opposed to my back leg be going straight back, right? In order for my hip to go down, I need to go over to the side. So what you can do is you can put a block or a pillow or a blanket, just squish it under that right hip. So you can, with a swan or pigeon, you can either stay up high. This is called proud swan. Or you can go down low. So you can choose to, once again, go down onto a bolster or a pillow or an extra yoga mat, a blanket, or you can go right down to the mat. And you might want to transition somewhere in the middle. So always just listen to your body. I'm going to go down lower. What I like to do is I put my forearms down and I put my head onto my forearms. And I'm going to breathe into that right hip. Breathe into my knee. I'm always going to make sure my knee joints feel safe and comfortable. You might want to picture beneath you fertile ground that is there. I'm even picturing right now fairy dust being sprinkled within the soil to help fertilize. Okay, if you want to stay longer in that pose, by all means. Otherwise, if you were down there, you can start to make your way back up. I'm going to tuck those back toes, put weight onto my hands. My fingers are nicely spread out, and I'm going to bring that knee back. And do what you need to do to get all the fluid in the knee joint moving and flowing again. Wake up that knee. All right, back to downward dog. Again, if this is too much for you, just hang out in a version of child's pose. We're going to do the other side now. Let's breathe in as we lift that left leg up. Breathe out as we make our way forward with that leg. We're going to come to a low lunge. You can stay here or drop that knee down. You can untuck those toes or keep them tucked. You can keep your hands down or come on up. Let's stretch out that hip flexor on the other side. Just gently leaning forward, leaning into it. Making sure your knee is not going over your foot. Okay, go lie down, honey. Go lie down. Okay, now we're going to take that left leg, bring it to the outer edge of the mat. We're going to go into dragon or lizard pose. Okay, chew. Enough. All right, I love you, but it's enough. Come on, sit. Good boy. Down. Good boy. Onto the mat. Sorry, down. Come on. Okay, so with your lizard pose, I'm just going to continue on. Try to ignore this guy as best I can. Stop, chew. Stop. Okay, so he hasn't seen me all weekend. So He's a little more rambunctious today, eh? Yes, sit, sit, down, down, good boy. Okay, so in your dragon pose or lizard pose, again, you can take that left arm and open up that leg, sit, down, down, okay? Or you can just stop, down. Or you can make your way down to your bolster or right down onto the mat. Well, I know he loves me a lot, so that's definitely very apparent, and it's beautiful. Beautiful puppy love, right? Making me smell like a dog with all your licks. Now feel free to go right down to the mat at any time. So you can go deeper into this pose. Feel that mat beneath you. Feel Mother Earth beneath you. Connect in with the soil. Connect in with the energy of Mother Gaia, which includes the beautiful crystals. It includes the roots from all the plants and the trees and the shrubs. It includes the energy from all of the four-legged ones that roam the forests, the earth, the winged ones, the amphibians, you know, all that beautiful energy, the insects. It's all a part of Mother Earth. I'm going to remove my bolster. I'm going to try to get lower to the mat without being licked to death. You might even notice that one hip is more open or closed than the other one, tighter or looser. You can stay here longer if you like, or come back up onto your hands if you did go lower. And we're going to bring that leg, bring it over the mat. Again, it's going directly across, or the way I do it, I bring my foot towards my groin. Okay, so we're going into swan, also called pigeon pose. That back leg is going directly back. The top of the thigh is going down towards the mat. The top of the foot is down. You can stay in proud swan here with your arms up, chin up slightly, chest open. You can also come down onto a bolster or a pillow. Now see how my hip is not touching the mat. So this is where I could stick a block, a pillow, a blanket. So I'm consciously leaning into that hip. So that's what you do. If you're going to add a pillow or a block, you're leaning into it. Pay attention to your knee joint. Make sure it feels safe. We're all a little bit different. If this doesn't feel good, another version on your back, which is a figure 4. So you can put your knees up into like a reverse tabletop and cross one foot over the opposite knee. So I can show you that in a moment. Otherwise, you can just hang out in this pose. And you can also go deeper. So as I did on the other side, I brought my arms down and my forehead down onto my arms. So keep hanging out in that pose. So if those poses have not been accessible, then another option is to come down onto your back, actually cross the right leg, let's say over the left, and then lift up the left leg. So this is going to get the same type of opening for you. Not as deep, but sometimes it wouldn't be good for us to go as deep, right? So you got to listen to your body. If you want to go a bit deeper, you can reach for the shin. Or even deeper, you can reach for the foot, right? Or that's really tough for me. Or you could even use a strap. You can bring that strap around that foot. Okay, so this is an alternative, and you would do it on both sides. An alternative to pigeon or swan pose. If you want to stay longer in that pose, by all means. Otherwise, if you're not already on your hands, you can go on your hands. You can tuck those back toes and bring back, and then let's warm up that knee joint again and get all that beautiful, fresh synovial fluid flowing into your knee. You can find another position that you prefer to wake up that knee again if downward dog is not the best choice for you. Pushing both heels into the mat in your own divine timing there. Tucking that belly, pushing your heart towards your thighs. Bring your knees down to the mat. Make your way to a seated position. I'm going to face this way now. Okay. So, swan or pigeon, dragon, those are not easy poses. They're all levels poses, but they can be tough mentally and emotionally. So things can come up with those poses. Sit, Chewy. You're going to put your legs straight in front of you for staff pose. Sit, sit, and down. Okay, so you don't have to use anything, but if you'd like, you can have a bolster on top of your legs. You can have a rolled up pillow or several pillows, blanket, etc. I like using the bolster during yin so I can fully relax into this pose. Now we're going to be stretching out the hamstrings and the calves. You can have as much of a bend in your knees as you need, okay? So choose the amount of bend, and you might be determining that of how tight your hamstrings are or how tight your lower back is. So just listen to your body. The goal is to have your belly close to your thighs, but we also want to melt into this pose, okay? So let's breathe in as we reach up. Breathe out as we hinge at the hips. And you're hinging as far as you can hinge, and then you're just going to settle down, okay? You're just going to settle into it. You can put your forehead straight down or one cheek. If you're going to put one cheek down, then I know you don't necessarily know what the halfway point is, but then you're going to turn and put the cheek on the other side. Allow yourself to fully surrender in this position. Fully surrender. And how can you relate that to life right now? What do you need to surrender to as opposed to trying so hard, working so hard, or being in a place of worry, stress, anxiety, pushing? Let's just surrender. Surrender to what is. Surrender to where you are right now. Surrender to where your life is flowing to right now. And you've planted some beautiful seeds. So let's allow those to grow and see where the universe takes us. If you are doing one cheek at a time, you might want to switch over to that other cheek. Okay, you can make your way back up to a seated position. That's some good chilling out time, I have to tell you. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to make our way to our backs. I'm just bringing my feet to the edge of the mat, and we can slowly come down. You can come down to the mat any way you like. If you want to take some time to use some core, you can slowly come down vertebrae by vertebrae down to the mat. Okay, let's bring one leg up and the other leg up. Now, if you have a wall, you can put your bum up against the wall and your legs up against the wall. And just hang out here for a bit, allowing the blood to flow down and bathe your organs. Having a wall definitely gives you some extra support. We're not going to stay in this pose a super long time because a wall might not be accessible to you. But if you do have a wall and you'd like to stay in this pose longer, by all means. I feel like the blood flowing down and bathing in the organs is a beautiful analogy for fertilization because we're giving beautiful blood to our organs to function beautifully. So I see that as fertilizing our seeds, helping them to grow with vibrancy, with energy. Now from here, in your own timing, you can transition to happy baby. So I'm going to bring my knees down and hold on to the outsides of my feet. And my hands are holding on to my feet and drawing my knees down to the mat. And my feet are pushing my hands up towards the ceiling. Now you want to try to have a flat tailbone. So flat back. Pushing that tailbone down. If you want, you can add movement if that feels nice. And if you have a flat back. If you don't have a flat back and you have a knobby spine rolling over the ground, that might not feel good. Okay, go lie down, baby. Go lie down. Leave it, leave it. Leave it. If you like and you're happy baby, you can take turns straightening one leg, straightening the other leg. Use your breath to transfer from one leg to the other. Or if you're simply just rocking back and forth, Chewy, leave it. Good boy. I don't know if you noticed that, but he stole a Kleenex. And he dropped it. Okay, leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Don't miss me. Okay, from here, in your own timing, you can find a comfortable position for Shavasana. If you have some lower back stuff going on, you might want to keep your feet planted on the mat, maybe at outer edges of the mat and your knees together to touch. Or you can straighten your legs and put blocks under your thighs, pillows, blankets under your thighs, or simply just outstretch your body into a big X. You might even want to have one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. So find a comfortable position for Shavasana. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Feeling the mat beneath you. Feeling Mother Earth beneath you. So you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. If you're ready to get on with your day, you can start to bring some energy to your fingers and your toes by wiggling them. You can reach your arms above your head and your feet in the opposite direction. And in your own timing, you can move on to your side and slowly make your way up to a seated position. My other little dog came to join us now. Are you jealous? Here, sit, sit. Come on. Shh. I was getting all excited. Shh. Sorry, everybody. Okay. So while you're in your seated position, let's just tune in to your body. Come on, Chewy, sit. Tune into your body to the way it feels now in comparison to how you felt when you first started. If you like, you can bring your hands to your sides. Breathe in as you raise your arms up. Breathe out as you bring your hands to your heart. Let's do that again. Breathe in as you raise your arms up. Breathe out as you bring your hands to your heart. I'm going to move a little bit over on my mat. Okay, Chewy, you're going to have to sit. Sit. Come on. Sit. Down. You can bring your thumbs to your forehead now. May you have kind thoughts and intentions today. Bring your thumbs to your lips. May you speak kind words to yourself and to others. Bring your thumbs to your heart. May your heart be filled with love, joy, peace, and gratitude. From my light to your beautiful light. And Chewy's, whose paw is in my hands. Namaste. Nice. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Thank you for your patience with my dogs, in particular with Chewy, who missed me incredibly this weekend. I understand that if he wasn't with my husband, he was at the front door, like waiting. I hope she's going to come home soon. So he needs my attention today. I don't know about you, but my allergies have been intensive lately. Who's got ragweed stuff going on here? All right. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to say goodbye to Facebook first. See you later, guys. Okay, so that is ending. Where are my glasses? Is that Buffalo who joined
Hi everyone,
us?
the Joy of Yogini here. So I'm going to do a Yin Yoga class today. It's going to be gentle.
Next.
I don't think it's going to be too long. I'm going to go with my intuition as to what poses I do.
Sorry about that, guys. All right, so Buffalo, look at that. Buffalo Soldier was in the house. Hello, stretch it out. How you doing, Buffalo? I'm glad you were able to join. So have a wonderful rest of your day. I will be back for Intuition Wednesday. And so that should be starting at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where you get to practice your own intuition. And if any of you are interested in joining my live yoga classes, oh, Cree Warriors in the house. Missed out. That's okay. You can do the class after the fact. It's all good. So those of you who are wanting to join my live yoga classes, I do have quite a few happening, and they're starting the week of September the 13th. So I am doing them out of the studio, as I was saying during the class, without the doggies. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, I have power yoga at 7 a.m. So if you're wanting to get your sweat on, build some heat, do some core and do some muscle strengthening, that will be the power yoga. We have vinyasa flow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and then yin yoga at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Mondays, but the 10 a.m. on Wednesdays is actually a chair yoga. So definitely have something for all levels. And then on Saturday morning, 8 a.m., it's a 45-minute vinyasa flow class. I'm still waiting to find out what type of evening hours I can have at the studio to and once I know those, I will be posting that up on my website, which is thejoyfulyogini.ca. So if you have any questions, by all means, you can send me a contact. Fill out a contact form on my website, thejoyfulyogini.ca, or you can send me a DM. So thank you so much. From my light to yours. Namaste. Bye. Thanks for joining.